Harry. We are really excited to share a panel of experts with you tonight and their thoughts on events and experiences. The purpose of tonight is to delve into the evolving events landscape. We want to talk about technology, challenges from both a venue, supplier and client perspective, and really understand where we see the industry moving over the next sort of 10 to 20 years and how that's influenced by economics, the political side, everything that happens that impacts how essentially our bookers and direct clients spend their money and where they perceive the value to be within the events industry. I think everybody's LinkedIn feed this week has been a wash with everybody becoming an events expert because of the launch of Fire Festival on Netflix, the party that never happened. Suddenly my friends who are doctors are now event directors and what they would have done differently, as well as lots of shareable memes and whatnot. It's an interesting one because when I was 16, and actually Charlie here was my first boss, my first grown-up job in Brighton at Be Vivid, I had this vision after watching far too many American sitcoms that I would be running around with a headset and a clipboard. The reality of what Charlie brought me into was something very, very different. Nice. Who knew you had to sell something to get an event? That was probably my biggest learning. And he was the man who taught me how to cold call. And I now run my own agency. So thank you to you for that very early insight. The events industry is a really interesting one. I think we were reading some reports in the office when we were sort of prepping for tonight around the fact that events management was voted the 5th most stressful job alongside being a pilot, a firefighter, being in the police and a surgeon. And I was like, okay, that's an interesting take. It's sort of the stats that sat around it were that 71% of people working within the industry and all its different facets were also suffering from great levels of stress. And I know there's been a lot of the industry publications that have been looking at mental health and how we can work better as an industry and how we need to take care of our employees. And as I guess technology becomes more and more at the core of how we deliver a live event, what does that actually mean? And we sort of started to talk around, actually, are we going to get to a point where you want to have an event where people put their phone down? As we talk about people going out less, what is actually going to get people out of their houses and engaged with your event? And not only that, sharing it, talking about it. How do you make something memorable? We are living in the era of fake news and all the facets that go with that. So how do you create authenticity, whether you are looking to engage your internal employees or you want to thank your clients for a great year, or it comes down to your Christmas party? How do you make people join the conversation offline and really get involved in an experience as opposed to staring at their phones 24/7 and doing everything for the gram? Social media handles for tonight. The hashtag is in the round because we are literally in the round. Thank you, Cafe, for this beautiful setting. So, on to my epic panel for tonight. I'm going to let them do the introductions, but essentially we have people that work across different parts of an evolving landscape of events and bring a different part to the conversation. But ultimately, we are connected by creating really great experiences for people in different places. So, to my left.
To me. Hello, my name's Emily Morbey. I am the founder of Miss London Concierge, which is a new venue finding agency in London and the UK. It's been around for about 10 months now, still fairly new, but hopefully quite unique. And hopefully many of you will find that out later on as well. Before that, I was at Square Meal, working in the concierge teams to work with a number of venues in and around London and the UK as well. I've also worked in venues, and I've seen a few faces from Late Night London back in the day as well, so started my time there as well. Moved up to Drake and Morgan, again being in venues, then Square Meal, and then I've set up my own agency as well. So very much looking forward to really seeing what tonight brings as well, and hopefully you'll all get a little bit of insight into what I do and as much of the other panellists as well. So thank you.
Yes, so I'm Craig Anderson-Woodley. I'm the Sales and Events Director for Maxwell's Group. More specifically from an events perspective, Café de Paris, where we're all this evening, and Tropicana Beach Club based over in Covent Garden are our two main event venues. I started working at Compass Group originally for Line Venue Portfolio, working with 136 venues, unique and unusual venues, and then worked at Late Night London along with Emily Morbey here, and then on to launch C Containers Events and the Piano Works, and then currently I reside in the Maxwell's family. So yeah, I hope everyone has a good evening.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hepburn. I've been in the world of events for over 25 years. I've worked both on the agency and the client side. Back in 2001, I started my own business, which was Be Vivid. Back in those days, I'd say it was a traditional event management business. But over time, we've moved into an agency which focuses on engagement. Ultimately, that involves all communication channels, but will always have a live event at its heart.
I'm Nick. I'm the co-founder of Design My Night. I hope some people have heard of it. So we've been around for 10 years now. So we've become one of the largest discovery platforms in the UK. We're sort of the front end of what customers are searching for and booking and buying. We've got our own booking software as well and ticket software. So you book and buy on our site as well. So we can see exactly what's selling well and what people are booking into.
Hi guys, my name's Tom. I work for Bacardi Martini brands. So I'm sort of coming from casually sporting a Bacardi and Coke for those of you that are retro enough. So I've worked within the drinks industry for a number of years, sort of initially starting out in sales where I looked after a number of accounts within this area, sort of growing up to specialise through the business, working on brands like Grey Goose, specifically targeting late night venues. And most recently, my latest role is I head up the UK and work in the customer activation space, which I think we're all privy to in terms of drinks brands activating within late night sector and events. Something that's super exciting and a real sector that's our business is investing in particular to get behind the growth sector. And yeah, thanks to Charlotte for, I'm massively excited to join the panel this evening. Hopefully some interesting conversation.